Over 4,000 hours in 4 years in 20 minutes. This is how I built my submarine. Right now we got the main hull of the submarine hoisted up a little bit so that we could get the flames to come out this end, because this side just didn't want to light as well. Purpose of this is just to burn out any of the old propane smell, clean it out. We're gonna power wash it, degrease it. This one's still finishing up, pretty much done. This one we did already. Now we just got to clean it out. All right, we're tracing a half circle on the end of this conning tower. This is going to get flipped over and put on top of the hull. You can't just take a circle and trace it, and that's one of the problems we've been trying to figure out how we're going to solve this for the whole week, and thought of this idea, and it looks like it's going to work pretty well. I got a casting right from my phone, this circle. And we're going to turn this around, trace the other side, and then cut that out. The excellence in thermal forming acrylic plexiglass. Let's get rid of this gasket. Check out this beauty. Perfectly shaped. Got both towers on. Finished. Ready for welding. Got both rings. They'll have to be welded. The next step is going to be to pick the whole thing up, and then we're going to put plate steel on the front and back, which is going to contain the dive planes for the sub. It's going to come to a point on the tip, which can make it a little bit more hydrodynamic, easier to go through the water. A lot more work to do, but it is fun. Alright, so we got the front completely finished, the frame of the sub. The next part is building the steel deck on top, going across here. And the back part, which is going to be exact same as the front, is going to be finished in spring. That's the last thing we're going to do. Mainly until we get a trailer built for it, because that is a utility trailer. It's working for now, but building a very big trailer to haul this around. Oh yeah! Hello, submarine trailer! Ha! Oh man! So we got the bow ballast tank installed. Hangs down on the bottom there, under the water. The whole tank's under the water, actually. Water line's going to be right about here. Playing around a little bit of a sheet steel just to get an idea of how it's going to look when it's all covered up. Got the rings done today. We got to put two 800-pound 14-inch thick steel I-beams on the bottom. That'll add about 1,500 pounds of weight to the sub. The next step will be the dive plane system. We're going to have more support coming out through here, and then there's going to be a shaft going through with large fins cut off the sides. Now what we're going to use something about the size of this board. That'll be really cool. That's the next exciting thing I'm looking forward to. We'll have a linear actuator, which will control the movement. I've been out here for like 10 hours. So in this test video, we added 2 weights on the top, which are exactly equivalent to 200 pounds, which are the occupants. They weigh 200 pounds, give or take, minus 50 for the back. We will do a test with 150 pounds in the back. I already know I'm 200 pounds, so let's see what happens. Alright, so we can notice that the back is indeed sinking faster, but this is of course with all the ballast tanks open. bit there. Okay, perfect. Back is a little too heavy. On the real sub, we're gonna have to remove 200 or about 100 and at least 100 pounds from the 700 pound weight on the bottom, because I can tell that the backside is sunken a little bit more than the front. Full size sub, and it's a 1/10 scale counterpart, which I have already done some tests with, and it does check out. So as long as their ballast tanks are shifted back here, it'll be perfectly stable above water. So I just got the 3D model, the rendering of the submarine's hull, back from the engineering company, and I'm just taking a look at it to make sure it matches the real life hull measurements exactly, and everything looks really good on this. So they're going to take this model and they're going to do some simulations on it, some stress testing, so that way we can see the depth at which the submarine would crush at, including the viewports. So yeah, we got the hatches done. I've been spending, it's about 11 o'clock now, I've been spending the last several hours welding these on. Right now, we just got the seat platform. Seat is going to be installed on top of it. We got enough room for a person to stand on the deck in the front and another person to stand on the deck in the back. Awesome milestone for the sub today. Got all the windows on. There we go. Also picked it up with the crane, brought it away from the garage. Got it all sealed up for winter. Do a little bit of work on the inside throughout the winter, build a lot of the interior components. I just got all the control panels boxed out. We're gonna have to cut the pieces out, and then we're gonna put button plates on all of these, and I'm gonna have monitors on this one. I'm gonna have the periscope monitor there. It's gonna be our circuit breaker board, and a lot of the power buttons are gonna be down there. But right here, we've got the 3 blow valves for the ballast tanks, along with the pressure gauges and the depth gauge. Just finished all the hydraulics on this one. Got the handles on here. Also got the handles on the inside. You can see how easy they are to open. Everything has to be grinded down, cleaned, painted, primed, all that stuff still, of course. A lot of things to get done, but I really like this because can pretty much close that real easily. This hatch is well over 100 pounds. Hydraulics make a huge difference. 1/4 inch steel, 1/2 inch thick steel. I mean, these suckers are heavy. Now, I'm gonna be working on the dive plane system. I just have this sitting here, but the shaft is actually gonna be closer towards the top because the dive planes are actually going to be above the water when it's on the surface. Then once you flood the ballast tanks, the dive planes, of course, and the whole sub will start to go underwater, and then that's where the dive planes will actually kick in. The dive planes are more for aesthetic. I think they look really sexy on the sub. That's why I'm putting them on there. There's really no point to even have dive planes on an electric sub like this. It doesn't even go fast enough to really make a huge difference, because what's going to actually pull the sub underwater and, you know, allow us to go around underwater are the motors, and there's going to be motors underneath the dive planes on its own shaft, and that shaft will be down here. So there's 2 shafts. One shaft, the shaft on the bottom, the motors, they'll always be underwater, and then the shaft that the dive planes will be on, which is more for aesthetic. It looks so bare bones because none of the sheet metal's on. Still didn't put the ballast tank in the back here. So we got to build a control rod for this rudder, which is going to run through back here to a linear actuator and a sealed compartment of its own. That we're going to have to build. Got the ballast system pretty much complete as far as all controls go. What these 3 valves do, these actually open and close the bottom of each ballast tank, and then these close and open the top of each ballast tank. That's where we're at right now. Now is a matter of just actually connecting the pipe and punching that pipe through the end of the hull, which will come out to the ballast tanks. First dive plane mounted. Not welded yet, just kind of getting an idea of how it's gonna fit and everything, but I think it's gonna be really cool. Dive plane Motor operation test. Looks like we found a small leak, which was pretty much expected. So yeah, as you can see right now, we're doing a pressure test. Got the hatches clamped down. The O-ring seals work great. No leaks coming from those. Just maybe 3 or 4 pinholes on some of the welds. Check that out. Looks awesome. These ports are open. These are water flow ports. There's going to be a back plate behind it, so you won't be able to see through it, of course. Got to get the center section in. This is all fit up right now in the back. Is that sick or what? We're welding these end pieces on, and once these get put on, this will all get grinded and smoothed out, just like we did here. There we go. You got to do it this way because it's very thin metal, and it'll melt holes right through it if you don't let it cool and do little short passes like that. Of course, we got a layer of slag here. This will all get grinded down, and if there's any small little pinholes that I missed, I'll fill them in. These are actually going to fill up with water inside there. That's open, so that way water can flow inside and out of the die planes when I come up to the surface. If any air pockets got trapped throughout parts like this on the sub, could actually prevent us from going underwater. This is an awesome night so far. Yeah, this guy right here is early in development. Basically, this just sits on your lap inside the sub. You can control everything right from this joystick, and you can control all 3 motors here. Currently working on this main panel. Got the 8-inch monitor, which is going to be like right here. Got a lot of welding left to do. Extra strength. We're going to be bulking up the sub a bit. Fitting up some gauges here. This gauge right here, ammeter gauge, tells me how much power I'm drawing at a given moment. Gonna get all the pipes coming out of here, and we're gonna get these ballast tanks on the side. There's gonna be 2 ballast tanks here on the side, and then right on the other side. After all the ballast is ran together, I'll be pretty much done with all the welding, so I'll be able to paint the interior and start working on the electric. We'll still have to add a bunch of weight down here on the bottom. I gotta weigh this and then fill in the difference with the weight on the bottom, so that way we are as close as possible to where we need to be to make this thing neutrally buoyant. Pretty much got rid of every single pinhole leak with the last welding job we did on this. Got a lot of stuff on the sub here. Got these ballast pressure gauges. These are the hatch clamps, very similar to the K350 subs. I kind of copied that idea a little bit just because it's simple and the design that works. Basically, the bottom of these loop right under there, and they tighten right up. Add a little bit more support. Got to get up in here and weld another pass up there, and I'll show you guys how it works. It's kind of cool. Grab the hatch, close the hatch up, slide them over like that. And when the O-ring is in there, it'll compress that O-ring, so when you first go under the surface, we won't have any leaks. And of course, the deeper we go, the pressure increases, and it's self-sealing at that point. Just put these back plates on these water flow ports on the bow. Basically, yeah, the water flows in and behind. That's gonna look really nice, because these are gonna be painted black, and then that's going to be contrasted with a battleship gray color on the outside. I just got it clamped on there, so I had to pull the deck up. Then I'll be able to drill the pilot holes and put the hex nuts in, kind of using that to give it that rivet effect. First ballast tank, side ballast tank, this is part of the main ballast system, is going to get welded to the hull here. These are the lines that are going to connect to the ballast system. So there's going to be 1 tank here, there's going to be another tank back there, and there's going to be 2 more on the other side. There's a total of 6 ballast tanks. Just got these side ballast tanks pressure tested. No leaks at all. Held pressure very well. These are the vent lines for the top. This is going to let air out of the tanks and let water enter them from the underside. This is going to allow the sub to get heavier and sink underwater. Major milestone accomplished today. We'll begin basic electrical. I'm not going to put all the LCD cameras and lights all over the sub yet because we're only going to be doing surface trials. We want to make sure everything is good, but the motors are going to be installed. Of course, the batteries, I'm going to make mounts and weld inside the sub for the CO2 tanks, which is the pressurized air, which is going to blow water out of these when you're underwater to come to the surface. So finally got the interior primed and the first coat of the top coat applied. Floor's not painted because there's actually going to be carpet going down on the bottom. All this stuff is going to be smoothed down. This is actually going to be like a chrome finish when it's done. All the mill scale is going to be taken off this steel, and it's going to be surfaced very smoothly. It's going to be shiny, so it's going to be like kind of mirror finish almost. It's going to look really cool. Literally just got this vent for the forward ballast tank. So when diving and air comes out of the forward ballast tank, air is going to vent out of this tube right here. It's got the motors attached here. I'll show you that. Inside the submarine right now, just got the CO2 meter all set up and configured. So right now we're reading around 2,000 ppm. I do not have the scrubber installed yet, so it will keep increasing. I've had it up to almost 6,000 parts per million before I open the hatch. But I got the alarm on this thing set to 5,000, which is the 8-hour work limit for max exposure of CO2, which is actually not that bad because I've been working on this thing a lot. It's cold outside, so I've closed the hatch here and now, and whenever it gets up and the alarm goes off, I'll open the hatch up, close it again. I got a lot of stuff in the dive plane, so I really can't move it that much, but just testing them out with a joystick here. Fire up one of the motors, hit the one on the left here. The right motor. Everything is working very well. It's got the submarine here up there pretty high, about to come down on these beams. So right up here is going to get lowered. It's going to fall down right in the inside. Got this cut out here for the pipe. Just got to get these beams pushed out just about another inch so we can clear that. Roll your window down so you can hear us. The very first time bringing my submarine on the water. What will we learn from the first surface trial? We are now almost 4 years and 4,000 hours into the build, which you saw in 16 minutes. This is a famous day, not just for its success, but because it is the day of our most viral video that took place. The story where a woman called the police on me thinking the lake was being attacked by North Korea. Unfortunately, I wasn't filming when I left the dock. The biggest thing I learned about this first surface trial was the need for more surface stability. There's no bubbles, so it's dry.
Yeah.
Why are we leaning? Oh, I'm leaning to the right because both hatches are open.
Watch your fingers. There you go.
That picks the nose up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah, I got the battle lights.
All right.
Sub stuff.
We'll be out in a minute. We're going to seal it up.
That's for the battle too. Yeah, we have.
Success. Now for adjustments. A semi-successful submarine dive. Everything is pretty much complete for day 2 of trials. Big, large diameter tubes on the side pretty much sit right underneath the water line right here. So they're pretty high up and they're far out, which will greatly improve the stability of it on the surface. I'm gonna test it out with a 2 right now. We're gonna flood it. We're gonna see how deep she goes, and then we'll take it to the next step. Now we are gonna start with the rear ballast, which should put it underwater. We all know where this ended up. 150,000 subscribers and multiple successful dives, all thanks to you. Check out the videos below and subscribe for the next season of our dive series and other exciting projects. Yeah. Oh yeah, Chris, you got me on the walkie-talkie right there. Can you hear me on that camera?
It's picking you up, and we got John walking.
Hell yeah.
It was a successful day. Good.
And Andy's got some great footage